Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. We're going to be getting started here in seconds. Hi. All right, my name is Jennifer Donnell, and I'm the Director of Communications for Attorney General Anthony Brown in the Office of the Attorney General here in Maryland. We're going to have speaking to you this afternoon the Attorney General, Anthony G. Brown, all common spelling. He will be followed by the Chief of our Independent Investigations Division, the IID. Both of their names will be on the screen here for proper spelling, but hers is also common spelling. As you know, with the Independent Investigations Division, we began as investigating these cases, and then in 2023 we were granted the authority to begin prosecuting or determining whether or not we would prosecute a case. That means that we have to be extremely careful about what is stated publicly as we have an ongoing case. So we are going to have a media question and answer following their remarks, and we're going to try our best to answer questions. We'd like to keep the questions relegated to this specific case and only the specific case. If you have any other subjects that you need to talk to us about, please come see any one of us after the press conference. And if you have any questions about this particular case or the IID, we will try our best to answer them, given that we do have an ongoing case. So without further ado, Attorney General Anthony Brown.
All right. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. We are here today because of duty. The duty of law enforcement to serve and protect, the duty of the Office of the Attorney General to hold accountable all Marylanders for their conduct, and the duty that people have to help others when they see others in danger. Today, the Independent Investigation Division of the Office of the Attorney General, the IID, is announcing an indictment of an Anne Arundel County police officer for his role in an unauthorized high-speed chase that resulted in a death. Early in the morning of August 10th, 2024, police officer Alexander Mason Rodriguez, a 2-year veteran of the Anne Arundel County Police Department, engaged in an unauthorized high-speed pursuit of Joshua Vander Zeel. For 4 miles, beginning in Anne Arundel County, through parts of Prince George's County, and eventually ending in Howard County, Officer Rodriguez in his police SUV chased Joshua's motorcycle across county lines, reaching speeds up to 100 miles per hour. Officer Rodriguez never turned on his emergency lights or sirens. Officer Rodriguez did not radio Anne Arundel Police Dispatch or get permission from a superior to chase Joshua, nor did Officer Rodriguez inform anyone in his chain of command that he was leaving Anne Arundel County in pursuit. Instead, Officer Rodriguez chased Joshua until Joshua crashed his motorcycle into the back of a flatbed truck. 3 civilians, 2 in the truck and 1 bystander, knew someone's life was in danger, and they called 911, but not Officer Rodriguez. Instead, Officer Rodriguez slammed on his brakes, did a U-turn in proximity to where Joshua crashed into the truck, and fled the scene. Officer Rodriguez did not stop to see if Joshua needed medical attention. He did not check on the people in the truck. He did not tell dispatch or his superiors about the crash. He did not file a report. He did not even request emergency medical assistance. He left Joshua, who died in the dark. Officer Rodriguez is presumed innocent until he is proven guilty. Earlier today, a Howard County grand jury indicted Officer Rodriguez on multiple counts, which include 2 counts of manslaughter, 1 count, duty of a driver to remain at the scene of an accident resulting in death, and 5 counts of misconduct. The grand jury indicted Officer Rodriguez on all counts. Let me be clear. This is not an indictment against the roughly 1,000 members of the Anne Arundel County Police Department. Nor is it an indictment on the approximately 16,000 certified law enforcement officers across the state of Maryland. It is an indictment of Officer Rodriguez for his on-duty conduct on August 10th, 2024. The ID can seek these charges because in 2021, the General Assembly granted the Office of the Attorney General the authority to investigate certain police-involved deaths. 2 years later, the governor signed into law a measure granting the IID the authority to prosecute all cases involving police-involved deaths, provided there is sufficient evidence to support criminal charges. We handle all of these cases with the utmost care, thoroughly and fairly reviewing law enforcement officers' actions in accordance with the law. The IID has investigated no less than 70 fatal incidents since October of 2021. This is the second incident in which the IID has sought an indictment of a police officer for a criminal offense. Last December, an Anne Arundel County grand jury indicted 2 Anne Arundel County police officers for misconduct in office related to an unauthorized chase that resulted in a fatal collision. Their cases are currently pending. The vast majority of law enforcement in the state of Maryland, throughout this country, is upstanding and law-abiding, but when police break the law, it is our officers' duty to hold them accountable. I want to repeat, Officer Rodriguez is presumed innocent until and if he is proven guilty. I want to acknowledge the professionalism, responsiveness, and cooperation of the Anne Arundel County Police Department and the Howard County Police Department. I want to thank the Maryland State Police Crash Team for their assistance and involvement in this investigation, and I want to thank Allison Green and the entirety of the Independent Investigation Division. I want to thank you, Allison Green, Chief, for our leadership, for your leadership from the countless hours that your team has spent to complete a fair and thorough investigation. And with that, I'll now turn it over to Allison for more details about this case.
Thank you, Attorney General Brown, and good afternoon, everyone. Before I get into the facts of the case, I want to emphasize that the officer is presumed innocent unless and until the state proves his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt in court. An indictment is not a finding of guilt, but merely an accusation. This indictment is a culmination of an extensive 8-month-long investigation completed by a group of independent investigation division's attorneys and investigators. Officer Alexander Mason Rodriguez of the Anne Arundel County Police Department has been charged with 2 counts of manslaughter, 1 count of duty to remain at the scene of an accident resulting in death, and 5 counts of misconduct in office. Count 1, manslaughter by vehicle or vessel, gross negligence, alleges that Alexander Rodriguez unlawfully, in a grossly negligent manner, did kill and slay Joshua Vanderzeel. Count 2 is manslaughter by vehicle or vessel, criminal negligence. This alleges that Alexander Rodriguez did cause the death of Joshua Vanderzeel as the result of driving a vehicle in a criminally negligent manner. Count 3 is duty of driver to remain at the scene of an accident resulting in death. Now, Maryland law requires that anyone involved in an accident that results in bodily injury to or death of another person to render assistance to the person injured, including arranging transportation for medical treatment. In this case, count 3 alleges that Alexander Rodriguez, knew or reasonably should have known that the accident might result in the death of another person, death actually occurred to another person, and that he failed to immediately stop the vehicle as close as possible to the scene of the accident, or immediately return to the scene and remain at the accident scene. Counts 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are misconduct in office. The crime of misconduct in office is defined as corrupt behavior by a public officer in exercising the duties of his office or while acting under the color of his office. More specifically, the first 3 counts of misconduct in office involve Officer Rodriguez's alleged gross negligence, criminal negligence, and address his failure to remain at the scene of the accident related to the death of Mr. Vanderzeel. The remaining 2 counts involve Officer Rodriguez's failure to report and failure to provide aid on the scene. Now, here is what our nearly 8-month-long investigation revealed. The Independent Investigations Division was contacted on August 14, 2024, by an investigator from the Maryland State Police. Their crash team reached out to us, and we were advised that there was a fatal police-involved crash, or potentially police-involved crash, that involved a motorcycle on August 10, 2024 in Howard County, Maryland. On August 10, 2024, at approximately 4:11 a.m., a motorcycle operated by Joshua Vanderzeel crashed into the side of a flatbed truck on Washington Boulevard. The Howard County Police Department responded to the scene, and their accident investigation unit, also referred to as the Howard County Crash Investigation Team, initiated the crash investigation. On scene, witnesses advised responding officers that a police vehicle was traveling behind the motorcycle immediately before the crash, but then left after the collision. Dashboard camera footage from the flatbed truck revealed that a dark vehicle with possible police or security markings left the scene of the crash immediately after Mr. Vanderzeel crashed into the truck. More specifically, the vehicle appeared to be rapidly approaching the collision scene behind Mr. Vanderzeel, abruptly making a U-turn on the roadway, and then accelerating away from the scene. During the U-turn, reflective graphics like those placed on police vehicles were observed on the side of the subject vehicle. On August 15, 2024, after receiving the notification from the Maryland State Police, the IID investigators met with members of the Howard County Police Department. Thereafter, Anne Arundel County Police Department was contacted to determine if the vehicle belonged to them. On August 16, 2024, the Anne Arundel County Police Department confirmed that Officer Alexander Rodriguez was in the area of the incident at the time of the crash. This is based on their own records inquiry and a review of the GPS data connected to the officer's assigned marked police cruiser. On August 20th, 2024, the IID assumed the investigation after determining that it was a police-involved fatality. By and through the investigation, which included the review of GPS data, cell phone records, surveillance and department records, it was determined that Officer Rodriguez's pursuit of Mr. Vanderzeel, initiated in Anne Arundel County, Maryland, traveled through Prince George's County, Maryland, and into Howard County, Maryland, where it ended with Mr. Vanderzeel's crash in the 9400 block of Washington Boulevard. The pursuit lasted more than 4 miles. During that time, Officer Rodriguez did not activate his emergency equipment, including lights and sirens. During that time, Officer Rodriguez drove more than 2 times the posted speed limit. During that time, Officer Rodriguez did not notify the department dispatch that he was engaged in a pursuit, and he did not obtain permission to engage in the pursuit. During that time, Officer Rodriguez did not make a notification that he left Anne Arundel County. After the collision, he did not stop at the scene. He did not return to the scene. He did not make a notification about the collision. He did not provide medical aid or request emergency medical assistance for the collision. And he made no verbal or written report about the crash. After the collision, Officer Rodriguez returned to Anne Arundel County and completed his work shift. Mr. Joshua Vanderzeel died on the scene because of his injuries sustained in that collision. At the time of his passing, he was 21 years old and served as a Russian linguist for the Navy. Officer Alexander Rodriguez has been employed by the Anne Arundel County Police Department since March 2023. Charges are pending before the Circuit Court for Howard County. And as the Attorney General emphasized, these investigations would not have been possible without the collaboration and partnership between the Attorney General's office and our law enforcement partners. Also, as the Attorney General said, the vast majority of law enforcement is upstanding and law-abiding. This is not a judgment against any police department or every officer in the state of Maryland. Thank you.
Questions? We'll start here and we'll work our way around.
That's probably the same question.
Well, go ahead.
Any idea was there any initial traffic? Did you ever get anything out of anybody about what started the pursuit and why the young man?
This is an ongoing investigation, and those are facts that may very well be discovered during the investigation.
Also, can't help but notice that two charges in both Anne Arundel County Police. The only other charge, I think, correct, brought by IID so far.
We brought an indictment. We brought charges and secured an indictment last year against 2 Anne Arundel County police officers.
Is there an issue there in the police department?
I think it's important. I think it's important to point out that we investigate, and when we ultimately make decisions to prosecute, we take every case on individually, the totality of the circumstances, the facts surrounding that case, application of the law to those facts. Even when we have cases that involve more than one officer, we analyze the conduct of each officer during the sequence of events involved in that incident and make determinations about what we believe is potential criminal culpability based on the facts particular or unique to each individual officer. So that's what we did here today. This is an investigation about Officer Rodriguez's conduct, which resulted in the loss of life of Mr. Vanderzeel.
Yeah, I have the same question as Brad did, but let me add on to that. Did the victim know, or did the officer know the victim in this case? Was there any relationship there?
We can't comment on that.
You mentioned there were 2 witnesses, and I'm just trying to pinpoint where and when that took place in that sequence of events.
So 2 witnesses were in the truck. You had a driver and a passenger in the vehicle, the flatbed truck that Mr. Vanderzeel hit and crashed into. That truck was equipped with a dash camera as well. And then there was a bystander in the area who, in a vehicle, observed it and called 911.
And mentioning dash cam, is there any dash cam, body cam of this incident taking place?
We're not going to comment on the nature of the evidence available at this time. It's an ongoing investigation.
Yeah, one more. You described the dynamic. There's no way in the world, as I understand you're describing it, that this officer would have been confused about the outcome here. He would have known that this young man was in bad shape from what he witnessed.
I won't comment. I won't comment on what the officer. What I'll tell you is that as Ms. Green mentioned, the police car was in proximity to the crash site. There was actions by Officer Rodriguez leading up to and after the crash that suggest that he was aware of and knew of the accident because of the proximity of Officer Rodriguez to that flatbed truck, the actions that he took before and after the impact, and that's what we'll present.
You have witnesses, you have GPS, you have cell phone records. It's it all based on the limited information that you provided. It seems all circumstantial. Is there any direct evidence that you can discuss?
Well, we just outlined the sequence of events, and we're in the middle of an investigation. We understand the responsibility of the state to offer evidence to prove every element of the charges that are now the indictments and the charges against Officer Rodriguez, and that's the obligation and responsibility of the state.
And let me add, did the officer make any statements that you can repeat?
No.
What's the current status of the officer right now? What's the current status? Is he working?
I'm going to refer you to the Anne Arundel County Police Department for that. That would be a personnel matter that they could answer.
Will he take him into custody, the indictment, or will he be, or statement of charges?
None.
This is a summons. We were not going to do a full custody arrest and processing.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you for coming out.